Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 7v7 custom matcher on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, anyway, Team 2 in the south. Starting with Team 1's Eastern player, working our way westward, we have in glow-in-the-dark green, System Shock as a Cybran. As a 1200 in Pac-Man yellow to his northwest, we have the UVF player of Skotic. He is a 1000 rated player to his south. In Tropical Ocean blue is Yo Asakura as a Seraphim as a 1400. In orange, the color orange, we have SA as a Cybran, also a 1400 to his north. In light oak tan is Nightblood. He is the highest rated player on his team at a 1700 as a UEF. He is also tied for the highest rated player overall. To his southwest, we have in Rust Ilmer as the one and only Aeon on Team 1. He is a 1300. And last but not least here for Team 1 in Chevy Crimson is Free MP as a Cybran as a 1500. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 Cybrans, 2 UEF, 1 Aeon, and 1 Seraphim, which means they have at least one of each of the factions. To the south, we will start with Team 2's Western player, working away, zigzagging around the map. He is Bilbo Bubus. He is a UEF in Snow White as an 1100. In southeast, we have Tumba as a Cybran in Royal Blue as a 1000 rated. And jumping to the north, we have in Batman Gray TMOS as a UEF as a 1300. In Amethyst Purple to his east is Akira 13. He is an Aeon as a 1500. In Ruby Red to his south is Touch My Berries. He is a UEF. And he is one of the 2 players on his team tied at 1700 rating. And with that other player, he is also tied with Nightblood on Team 1 for highest rated player overall, again at 1700 rating. To his northeast, we have in Regal Purple, Ruma as a Cybran as a 1200. And last but not least here for Team 2, in Stitch Blue, in the rear guard slot, we have XBOCT. He is a UEF. He is the player with which Touch My Berries, and Nightblood is tied for the highest rated player overall. And again, he is a 1700 in Stitch Blue as an UEF. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 4 UEF, 2 Cybrans, and 1 Aeon, which means Team 2 lacks Seraphim technology. And for 14 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at a little over 19,000 mass in reclaim, which means it's probably about 12 to 1,300 mass per player to scoop up if everything was divided evenly, which of course it never is. But of course that is the, just dividing it just to have an idea of what each player roughly can have in reclaim. And for Team 1 side of the map, let's take a look at their mass points. And we'll cut the map in the middle just so there's a quad and a Trimex position in the middle, a quad mech position on the western side, and a Trimex position in the northeast corner, and quad mechs that we see System Shock already going to grab. Besides that, there's a decent amount of one-offs on the eastern side here, and a nice grouping of mechs here that will obviously be fought over because there's only so many avenues of attack via the land situation here. We have roughly 3 lanes-ish. It's like the middle's kind of split into 2, and then you have the east and the west. We have a tiny bit of water as well, so we might see some hover tech flying, or hovering, I should say, on those sides of the map. But besides that, I don't see any sort of instance where Navy will come into play. We do see outbound from XBOCT a transport laden with some engineers going after those mechs as fast as he can. Looks like he's going to go for the Trimex position, as well as, of course, getting some of those trees scooped up into his eco. And there's a nice 175 rock right there. You can easily just kind of trundle over and go grab. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what our players are up to overall. I'll speed it up just a little bit so we can get that early movements done and over with. It does look like for Team 1 so far, it's going to be 3 players on this western edge, fighting off only against Bilbo. He has a tall order to deal with. It does look like Tumba is going to move in and assist. At least he's in that trajectory line. But so far, it's going to be a 3v2 engagement here in favor of Team 1. In the middle of the map, there's really nobody really pushing one way or the other. There is one player from each team in the middle in those kind of side lanes. but I don't see, again, any sort of movement so far. And then on the eastern side here, so far we see only really one player making a play for that eastern edge. We do see, of course, System Shock is already here, and it does look like Skotik is going to join him. But we do see XBOCT has already dropped off some engineers, got a nice little base online, getting PD, getting some of those mass extractors online, radar system also online. Love to see that. So he's getting a nice, fire base online, very well entrenched in Team 1's territory. He won't keep that for very long, but of course, the longer he does, that's more mass that he'll get, more mass he's denying for Team 1, and of course, the faster he can get to his T3 air facility. We might see 2 air players in this game, considering it is a 7v7 game, and we might even see 3. We do also see a couple of some upgrades coming online here for Team 1 and Team 2. Team 1's Yo going for T2, and Team 2's player of TMOS going for Gun. We do see, again, a couple of transports running around the map as well for Nightblood. I don't know if those engineers have been dropped off. I think one of them possibly did. I don't see it at the current moment. Maybe it was destroyed by a bomber, but that transport is destroyed. There's an engineer still alive. It does make it just barely. He's the sole survivor of that crash, but definitely unfortunate for his friends that he wasn't able to have them with him. In the west here, Team 1 just spilling units onto the front line here, and we do see that Free MP is not really pushing in. He's going to got his his quad mix position, just kind of hanging out. Not really pushing in like XBOCT is on the land to air department, and we do see, of course, the expansionary efforts of both teams going for all of those one-off mixes around the map. There is a quad mix position that hasn't been grabbed by anybody as of yet, and it looks like Team 2 is going to grab that quad mix, as well as Team 1's going to grab this. Definitely makes sense because there's more firepower here than there is here for Team 1 and Team 2, respectively. It looks like there might be starting to be a play here to punch through Team 2's front line, that being by SA moving in. He has a couple of avenues of attack. He needed to go east or southwest. East would be a little bit better because he gets away from these units outbound from Bilbo, and then he can get in and try to isolate TMOS on the front line. TMOS does have Gun and Nano online, so decently chunky UEF commander at 8 minutes. Lots of labs running around the map here for Akira, trying to, again, just keep the front line stable. And on the eastern side so far, XBOCT keeping that frontline facility online, just pumping out as many of those strikers and engineers to scoop up reclaim and keep himself established. 3 players have now emerged over here, Nightblood being the 3rd player to send his combo over there. Gun is completed for System Shock. He's going for stealth. And Skotik's just getting more facilities online just to, again, push back against XBOCT. Those labs are moving in, trying to, again, just push into Team 1's territory. There is one T1 PD, and there's more of them being built all the time, just trying to prevent the mass investments. We do see that Gun upgrades are being finished up by a couple players in the game. We do see that SA has finished his and is pushing in, but I don't really see this happening in any sort of forward momentum trajectory because Tumba's now here as well. And of course, we see that SA's pushing in. There's a lot of forces that will be killed up by SA. He'll probably get a rank in veterancy or so, but I don't think there's going to be any more than that, considering that Team 2 is plugging the holes over here with an additional commander for firepower. Everybody except for Akira, Touch My Berries, and XBOCT has left their main bases. Team 1, everybody has left their main bases, besides, let's say, Free MP, who is now retreating into the water. So pretty much everybody has left in some capacity or the other, and those labs are moving in, but there's a lot of T1 PD, and they're going nowhere fast. Unfortunately, it's just getting those PDs some veterancy. Gun started here for Nightblood, and Nano Repair started for Skotik. Not going for Gun, surprisingly, just going for Nano Repair. You just want to be killed off easily. Gun has been started for Ruma in the east. And again, not a lot of comms on the front line for Team 2. And Team 2, in terms of eco, is doing a little bit better than Team 1, but not by much. It's just a little bit. We do see the first major engagement is starting, at least in the southwest. SA now being pushed back by those strikers. It looks like the dam has been broken. Tumba is going to fall back as well as Bilbo. We do see that Ilmer just slowly encroaching in on Team 2's territory in the west. And TMOS is moving in to intercept. He'll get some veterancy from those kills, and it does look like veterancy almost is done, at least for the first star for SA. And in the east, System Shock leading his forces, going for all the veterancy he can. And just trying to, again, still isolate XBOCT's forward operating base over here in the northeast. He's getting a shield online and PD. He's really investing in this piece of land over here. Very interesting considering he is an air player. He has no T2 air facility online. He's going for land, not air. It looks like his teammate of Touch My Berries is going for air. Definitely not the player I thought that would go for air. We do see an additional player going for air. That's outbound from Tumba. So 2 air players for Team 2. It looks like Team MS taking some decent damage over here to the west. Ghetto Gunship online, almost shot down for Akira. He's trying to help out as best he can. Tumba and Bilbo moving into the breach. And we do see that Ilmer's pushing it on the western side, taking advantage of all of the focus over here. SA is falling into the yellow. Same here with Team OS. Team OS getting a little bit of reclaim and going for another land facility to pump out those engineers. But it looks like this engagement is not really going to favor one player or the other. It's just going to be a lot of dead units. But once those comms do get into range of SA, it might be enough to kill him off. But again, he has gun. He is sitting at 1 veterancy, almost at 2. And these 2 commanders have no veterancy and no gun on board as well. So they definitely have a disadvantage in that regard. Shield has been started for Skotik. He's going for heavy protection. He has gone for gun as well. So looks like once that shield is done, he's going to mount an attack on this forward operating base here for XBOCT in that northeastern corner. And now Ruma pushing back against System. He has stealth online, and now, of course, the gun as well he's been using for a while, and almost 2-star veterancy on board that commander. But no real efforts from Team 1 or Team 2 to really engage this avenue in the middle, besides just these labs building up. We saw that one time moving in and just immediately decimated, and looks like Kira's like, yeah, I'm not going to push in again. Not really worth going for it. Lots of labs being built by Team 2's players. We see at least 2 decent groups of them. One of them, of course, from Akira, and one from TMOS. It does look like a transport with some engineers. Actually, no. Looks like they're just some artillery units. Oh, no, there's a couple of... oh, they're all fervors. Okay, look like other units, but those are all fervors. Going to go after a couple of Team 1 mechs. There's not really a huge loss here for Team 2, but there are 1 units near R being 1. So there is 1 unit nearby for defense. It's gotten 1 of those 4 units killed. Oh, and if it doesn't keep moving, it's going to die. Ooh, it died, but there's another unit to replenish it. So that drop doesn't really amount to, well, much of anything, to be honest. You do see that force for XBOCT being eviscerated by Skotik's forces in the north, and that base is slowly getting collapsed upon. He is holding the main facility, but he doesn't really have a lot of support in units. He really needs some more T2s. Which, of course, he is pumping out engineers, and he has a couple of defenses coming online, but I think the amount of value he's going to get out of that is just slowly diminishing as time goes on. The stealth upgrade has been started for Ruma. We do see System Shock still pushing against Ruma in the east, and we see over here to the west, Strat Bomber online for Team 2's air player. It is shot down. One of the 2 air players, let's say Touch My Berries. It does land on Team 2's side of the map. And those ASF from Free do shoot it down. But it looks like Team 2's ASF have a better engagement. Only 1 of them remains. I think for a second, I think Team 1 outnumbered Team 2. But now they still do by 1, at least in terms of that area of the map. Gun damage range has been started for Bilbo. Just, okay, I get it. You're sending energy. Look at this. Look at all that messages in the way. I should probably get rid of that because you can disable those messages, because sometimes like 1 or 2 times it's fine, but that's a lot of energy, just do constantly. So one of those things I'll probably just remove. Like knowing what T3, like who's building what with upgrades is nice, but sending mass, spammingly is kind of annoying. Not even to listen to, but just to look at. We do see that, of course, T3 Air also online for System Shock. Sorry, System Shock for Nightblood. So both of these players going for air. We do see land is in T3 stages here. And another couple of air facilities. They are T2. One of them's upgrading to T3 and the other one's holding still. So 3 potential air players for Team 1. Which, again, we could see a lot of air units be sprung up very, very quickly here. System Shock has now moved in with his commander and his T2 forces. He's just running over this base. T3 online for XBOCT. He really wants his position. He's dealt with most of those units in the middle of his base. And now the Triad's focusing down the commander. and more of them are being built all the time by engineers. Looks like Skotik's targeting the engineers, and the shield is now actually been taken offline, so the hit points on board Skotik's commander is dropping quite quickly here. Looks like he had some power issues possibly, and he lost power or something. I don't really know. Actually, yeah, it doesn't really have the power to power it, I guess. But he's dropping really quickly. He's in the red, sub 3,200 hit points. It looks like he might get out of there just barely, but the shield did not fully energize. Okay, there it looks like it's recharging. There it goes. So he should be fine now. But that was really close to being killed. Yeah, it's not. It must be power related. There has to be. Yeah, it looks like it's power related. So he's trying to turn it on and off. It just won't fully initialize, which means it's not offering that protection like it would. But that was definitely close to being killed off. So good on Skotik for just sending some forces in to distract, and he can get his comm out of there. Titans are like, okay, come back. We wanna come say hi, get your autograph. And he's like, I'm not falling for that trick. TMOS just building a wall section over here, doesn't really care about being shot at by some missile launchers. And still, look at this just consistent push outbound from Ilmer, just getting into Team 2's territory. It's not, a quick insertion, but it is one of those like, take some territory, move forward, take some territory, move forward, take some territory, and move forward. He's doing a very good job of that, and just constantly keeping Team 2 distracted, or at least specifically Bilbo on this western side. On the eastern side, very similar situation, but the defenses, or at least the attacking forces' defenses, are a little bit lacking here. We do see forces trying to move back around here for Akira. 20 minutes almost on the clock here. Gunships moving into position. We could see a sniper opportunity here, but Ruma is getting to the cliff edge. He can't just jump into the water, so he's going to be stuck there for a little bit. And a couple of Mantis do run by, but they're going to get shot down by those gunships. Still nothing really super progressing here on the eastern side here for either team. It's kind of just a stalemate. But we do see that System Shock's moving in to assist Nightblood as well, so that looks like that is the reason for those units moving around. And with System Shock's stealth on board, Team 2 can't see him until he's in visual range. But they do know that he's roughly around there, but they don't know his exact location. Looks like he's going to fall back for the time being. And Team 1's SA is holding strong, constantly still pushing into Team 2's territory of Bilbo. You can see that push that happened earlier on kind of just nullified at the current moment. And Team 2 is really struggling on this western side to really defend against Team 1's constant pushing in. And T3 air facilities are being expanded upon at the current moment here. We see another T3 air facility. It's now being operated by Akira. So we have 3 air players for Team 2, 3 air players for Team 1. Sorry, yeah, 3 air players for Team 1, and possibly a 4th, but I don't think he'll upgrade that to T3 at the current moment. And Team 1 bombers kind of just harassing this quad mechs position here for Team 2. In the east, we do see that Nightblood is holding strong so far, just still going for defenses, has some Ravagers, and now getting some T2 artillery to really push back Team 2's offensive. And with those far superior and ranged T3 PD, essentially only experimentals or a large group of T3 units is really going to push in on that eastern side for the time being. And just constant raiding and constantly throwing missiles at TMOS. That stealth and nano comm online for SA, proving to be a match for TMOS's nano and gun comm for the UEF faction. But unfortunately here for SA, it was mainly just a distraction. His main force of Titans moving in to his foreign operating base, T3 facilities going offline. We do see that this is really going to pull back SA's pushing in, and he will send his commander forward, but I don't think that's advisable, because once these forces are done with his facilities, he can either send them in north, which, I mean, he can do, but it's going to take a while to really do a lot of damage, or he'll send them south and essentially just sandwich SA here. All TMOS has to do is just wait until SA is completely sandwiched and walk his comm in, but SA knows that he can't really get back, so it does look like the TMOS is just going to allow SA to keep pushing in, get him further into Team 2's territory, and just do other economic damage to other players on Team 1. We do see a decent grouping of some Obsidian tanks and Asylums. We do see a couple of Redeemers as well. But Titan's going to start sniping at Team 1's frontline eco. And SA now running into some Titans here from TMOS. He's going for the kill. He's trying to go for it. TMOS is now at 2-star veterancy, and SA is at 2-star veterancy as well. He's dropping hit points very, very quickly here. Sub 4,000, and TMOS still at 7,000. So an explosion from Macom will not kill him off TMOS. And there he goes. First casualty of the game is after 20 minutes. So Team 1 loses the first play of the game of SA due to TMOS is a nice little flanking maneuver and then essentially forcing SA to engage. And with that, let's take a look at the game overall. Team 2 sitting at 7 players left. Team 1 sitting at 6 players. Team 1 sitting at 1.1k mass income. Team 2 at 1.4k mass income. And map control barely in favor of Team 1. But it looks like Team 2 is going to, of course, start pushing back at Team 1, especially with SA being taken offline. And with that, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching to this point in the video. And I encourage each and every single one of you to watch till the end. Because why not? You got to know what happens. Because why not? You know, stuff does get interesting as the game does progress over time. Ilmer does have a shield, T2, and gun on board, but he's being completely swarmed and surrounded by Team 2's forces. I don't see him getting out of there anytime soon. This is going to be another kill here for Team 2. And it's only just a matter of time. Transports can't come in. ASF just holding position just in case the transport does try to just drop in and save Ilmer here. But there isn't really anywhere that this comm can go. There is one way he could get to the water, but he has to go all the way south and all the way north. You can't just jump into the water. And that is going to be a dead commander here. That's Team 1's only Aeon commander. Fortunately for them, full share is on, so somebody will be transferred over those Aeon engineers and whatnot. But it's not looking good here for Team 1 on this western side. They had a lot going for them, but once the collapse of SA happened, it was only a matter of time before Ilmer either was forced to retreat or was killed off, or in this case, both. He may get out of danger, though. He is dropping into the low yellows. Of course, those Titans are over here running around the map, but I think Team 2 is going to keep Team 1 on the Team 1's play of Ilmer online, just to make sure that that doesn't get handed, his eco doesn't get handed over to somebody else. Airfight does occur over top of these Titans from Team 2's TMOS, and it looks like it's in favor of Team 1. There's one last grouping of ASFs here for Team 2, and that being those outbound from Touch My Berries. There's still another force for Nightblood, and yeah, he will have the last laugh here in that engagement. Another T2 mech's going to go offline, possibly, maybe. Oh, nope, 370 hit points are going to be the saving grace for that one. But yes, it does look like Team 2 didn't really push the advantage on Ilmer on purpose, it looks like, just so they didn't kill another player off and give most likely free MP or Nightblood an additional base. And Team 2 now at 1.4k, still Team 1 at 1.3. They've caught up quite significantly. That was probably a power issue here for them when I did make note of the ecos in that 20-minute update. 20-minute mark update, I should say. T2 PD being taken offline. There's a couple of Team 1s that they'll have to deal with as well. But expansionary efforts now here for Bilbo and TMOS, allowing them to, again, reclaim the eco that is technically on their side of the map that they think is theirs. So, in the northeast, we haven't covered this in a little bit. Team 2's XBOCT just throwing everything in the kitchen sink into the defense of this base. He has tons of triads, T3 AA. He has some Perseus. The column of Skotik has made its return. We do see some Titans, Loyalists. They're not Titans. Loyalists from System Shock. He's still being surrounded on multiple fronts, but he's holding strong. I will give him credit, the tenacity on this guy. Some players would have just written this base off and just kind of cut their losses, but he really, really wants it. It is keeping a lot of tension for Team 1 on this northeastern corner. All of Skotik's attention is going into this, and a decent amount of System Shock's attention is also going into this. That's APM, that's time, that's effort, that's units, that's everything distracted for Team 1 in this northeastern corner by one player's small base on their side of the map. And in his main base, he's just now going, maybe he's going to go for air now. I don't really know. I felt like he should have gone for air a while maybe, but again, he's probably still focused on the land engagement. And the air grids, of course, being expanded upon by Team 2. Team 1's air grid are also being expanded upon. Again, I love this strategy of keeping the T3 air headquarters isolated, so that way if any cascades or any focus fire on the air grid does occur, the facility is fine, so you can keep pumping out ASFs and other units as needed. But Team 1 has a chicken moving down the middle of the map here. There are some T2 units fleeing in sight of said chicken, trying to get out of range. It isn't really looking good here so far here for Team 2's front line in the middle. There's really no defense for this. So it's going to walk straight on through. We do see that TMOS is just pumping out RASCOMs at the current moment. Just trying to again cut down the cost of all of the requirements to gate them in. And really scaling his eco quite nicely. I don't see anybody on Team 1 doing that as of yet. Crab has been started by Free MP. It looks like he's expanding. No, we do see some RASCOMs now online for Nightblood. So he is trying to again accelerate his eco that way. A large group of T2 and T1 units outbound from Ruma from the east, trying to slow down this chicken. Of course, there's not enough firepower to really deal with it. But this chicken's going to get a lot of value out of it and really open up a door for Team 1 to engage on the land side of things. Second chicken online for Yo, and he's using the frontline facility he has to cut down on the travel time to Team 2's territory, which I do love when players do use either transports or frontline construction to be able to cut down on travel time, because that does amount to how many units can respond and how many shots can be fired per second if there's less or more units essentially just being built in front of the enemy or near the enemy, rather than just having a long column of units walking to the front lines. We do see another experimental on the front lines now for Team 1's Free MP. It is a monkey. Still not a lot of firepower to take out these experimentals for Team 2. There's a decent amount of T2s, but there's, again, like I said, not enough firepower to really punch through the armor and hit points on board that thing. So that monkey is going to get a lot of its value out of it, and then some. Already killed off 13,000 mass. This facility is going to be taken offline. Sniperbot's also doing a great job of just poking and prodding at Bilbo's defenses. T3 coming online for TMOS. Still no efforts to go for air, which again, he's almost ringed it with T3 power. Still won't go for it. T2 almost online for XBOCT, and he'll probably go for T3 after that. I think I'm going to speed it back up once again, because besides the experimentals running around the map in the middle here for Team 1's Yo, and in the west here for the monkey, there is a Colossi online, which again, 1v1 will favor the Colossus, but 2v1 will obviously favor the chickens. And we're just waiting to see that fight. Team 1's air, again, pushing in. Team 2 doesn't really have as much. They're going after a couple of roaming gunships over here. They've taken out one mechs, actually 2 mechs, but not really a lot of damage in that regard. But again, something's better than nothing. Team 2 at 2k mass income. Team 1 at 1.7. Looks like the chickens decide to go a different route and going after these bricks over here. Is there a third chicken coming online? Yes, there is. And he is pumping out chickens, and now he's going to go for an air facility very far forward, not in his main base. Quite interestingly, he just wants to cut down on travel time with air, which doesn't, it does exist, but it's not really that much impactful. A couple of bricks use the water to get around. They kill off one mechs. Actually, a second mechs is taken offline by mobile artillery firing at the bricks. Some friendly fire there, unfortunately, here, but he can get an engineer and repair that very quickly, though. Free MP builds another experimental. Is it the crab? Yes, it is. Team 1 has the longest range. Well, no, technically the land. That boy is the best. Apologies for that little cut. Somebody was at the door, and they were asking me about my AC unit that was broken, so they have now fixed it, so it's cooling down my house now, and so I'm not just dying of sweating in my office. So apologies for the cut, but I have AC back online, so that's nice. Anyway, to the west, we do see that T3 is coming online here for Ilmer. We do see that T3 is almost done here for TMOS, and sensor package, very interestingly, going for Akira. Just wants to make sure he is protected around his base and gets a decent amount of vision. Again, 20 by 20 isn't that much of a percentage, but it's better than nothing in terms of being on a 10v10 or a 5v5 or a 5x5, not 10v10 That would be crazy to have a 10v10 match, 20 players. I mean, 8v8s are crazy. 10v10s would just be insane. Laser coming online here for Ruma. Maybe he'll go for cloaking, or maybe he'll go for the teleportation. We'll just have to see as time goes on. 3 chickens making their approach on his front line, and there's really nothing to fight back against this. There's a couple of bricks. Those bricks are going to get chewed up very quickly here. Team 2 now deploying some of those Mercies. Of course, the Mercies are the AoE type, so they don't really have a lot of damage on them, unfortunately. But, you know, something is better than nothing at this point. They're doing, you know, a decent amount of damage. It'd be better if the chickens weren't moving, so that AoE would just constantly just rip it apart. But, you know, we do see a huge air fight emerging here. Oh, no! Team 2's Touch My Berries air forces do engage, but the other forces from Team 2 don't. It's not going to go good here for Team 2's air forces, or their air power. Oh, they're just being chewed up by that dual force. And now we see that the forces from Toomba now engaged. So this is just an all-out brawl. 6 players with air is absolutely nuts for a 14-player game. You can see just so many AA coming on, facilities coming online now here for Team West, trying to help out in that air department. And now with this, the ASF are being distracted. That reverse chicken is dropping into the yellow, but it's taken a while. The air grid for Akira is going to get ripped apart now, unfortunately, and now he has to fall back. Ruma is protected for the time being, but that is a lot of damage going down on Team 2 side of the map. Of course, their eco will be benefited by all of the chickens being here, but they are, of course, going to lose some T3 Mexes, at least the killer. So he's going to be knocked out for pretty much the entire game, I feel like, if the chickens do focus on him, which it looks like they are. And that Fat Boy is going to get singed a little bit by the chicken. It might be enough. It's going to be close. Yeah, he's fine. The shield will probably be depleted for the most part, but it looks like he will be alive to tell the tale. But we see Touch My Berries is just, I got to get out of here. Let me out here. Let me out here. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Go, 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 go. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. And it's a maze over there here for Touch My Berries. He is suffering. Akira's down here as well. The air grid for Team 2's Touch My Berries is now being just cut in half. This is a huge win here for Team 1's Yo. This is a huge, huge victory here for him. He's essentially neutered 2 plays, completely nullified 1 player, and neutered a second, at least at a minimum. And if that chicken does get that nice cascade going on, Akira might get some AoE from the P-gens, but he should be fine. Oh, this is just so much damage going down on Team 2 side of the map. The chickens have paid for themselves, and then some tons of drones being taken offline. The chicken dropping into the red, some Fat Boy fire raining in. That's not going to help with the AoE splash. Oh, there goes another set of P-gens. Of course, I'm missing all the other action around the map, but I feel like this is the main thing to focus on. There goes the air grid here for Team 2's Touch My Berries. He does have the T3 air headquarters, though, so he will have that still online. Doesn't have to rebuild it, but still, that's, you know, probably 200,000 mass was killed, possibly. Or pretty close to that, or something like that. It's just a lot of dead stuff. Essentially, 2 players were knocked out, but luckily for Team 2, the Touch My Berries SMD is still online, surprisingly. So that is, you know, they have, it's a silver lining. It's something. It's better than nothing, but it's something. Still no T3 air facility for XBOCT. I wonder what he's doing. Looks like he's just, Touch My Berries is going into the air department, or the eco department now. And in the west, still Team 2 is suffering losses every so often. Fat Boy in range of a Colossus. That's never a good day for a Fat Boy. There could be a joke in there about an ice cream sandwich or something, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Fat Boy might make it out, and he does! Less than 5,000 hit points remain, and all those Percies rip apart that Colossus's HP. And T3 artillery is online for Team 2. He's going for the Mavor. He's using Cybern P-gens, UEF shielding, Cybern hives, and he's using Duke artillery. I feel like at this point he should have just got an Aeon emissary, a couple of engineers, and built the emissary instead of the Duke. And he has started the Mavor construction. Bilbo, yeah, he's like, what the heck is this? Because why not, right? Anyway, to the north, what is Team 1 up to in their strategies in the back? We do see a satellite has started its construction, the Novax. We do see mass FAF farming here for Skotik. Team 2's XBOCT has now pushed back Skotik, and he has really just sent, okay, my main base is over here, but I'm not fighting over here. I'm fighting over here. He is an air player. He is a land player masking as an air player because he's in an air slot, but he's decided to go for land, which, to be fair, that T3 Omni sensor on this side of the map is huge because it covers half of Team 1's, everything, and so it gives them a ton of radar just immediately. Love to see it. Is that Duke firing at the T3 air? Yes, it is firing at the T3 air facility for Yo. And it does look like the crab for Team 1's free MP goes this route and tries to cut off Bilbo. Bilbo's actually behind the crab. I don't really... I mean, it should have just gone the other way, I guess, but whatever. Tried to have a nice little flanking maneuver, but I think it was too slow to catch up with the Colossus. That would have been a good 1-2 punch there, but it didn't really amount to a whole lot. Bilbo's hanging out, just kind of firing at the Megalith. He's getting some veterancy from that, and that Megalith is going to go offline. It's going to be on Team 2 side of the map. Team 1 wants to claim the wreck of the Colossus, and with the Harbingers, they can do it. They just need to grab it sooner rather than later at this point. And that Duke is still firing. How is the... Wow, that Mavor's going up very quickly. Already at 25% and climbing. That's a pretty quick Mavor, I might add. Chicken is online poking and prodding at Team 2's defenses on the eastern side. He was saved. His entire base could have been ran over by those 3 chickens, but they decided to go for the air grids, which, to be fair, that was probably a better target to go after. Cloaking has been started for Ruma, so yes, he is going for the laser up close strategy with the cloaking tech. The chicken's like, okay, I can't deal with this. I need to fall back. He does get a rank of veterancy going after that mass extractor, excuse me. And is that slow? It does miss that brick. But I don't really... I mean, yeah, he can still use it, but it's severely damaged, or it's decently damaged, so we'll see if Yo does keep it and just regen it. He probably will at that percentage. But the units for Team 2 is XBOCT flooding into Skotik's base. Over here, it's really suffering. Same with System Shock. Both of those players losing T3 land facilities quickly, and more Percy's being just thrown at the northeastern corner of the map. Just essentially, this is his secondary base, and this is his primary base over here. He has an SMD as well, so he's covered in all avenues. Now he's going for another Fat Boy. His first one was taken out, but this is huge. Now we see 3 players' attention, roughly. We see Nightblood, Skotik, and System Shock focusing on him in particular, so that's a huge amount of work here just by XBOCT, just being a huge decoy for the rest of the eastern side for Team 2. That's what saved a lot of the eastern side front for Team 2, is just the fact that all of the most of the units for that frontal assault are just being from Yo and not the other players on Team 1. So great efforts here by XBOCT. We do see the 4 Fat Boys pushing in for TMOS, pumping out, of course, his Ras Boys, which I guess he stopped for the time being and went for just Fat Boy. Now he sent all his Ras Boys to help the Mavor out. It's already half done, 40 minutes on the clock. Team 1's definitely got to know about that sooner rather than later, which they know nothing about. Definitely unfortunate here for them. We do see some hover drones running around going after whatever they're going after. It looks like all the mass being donated from TMOS to Tumba. Love to see this assistance going down here from Team 2, building it faster, putting 2 players as eco together. TMOS sitting at 700 and Tumba sitting at 300. So if all of the mass for both players is going to the project, that's 1,000 mass per second going into that Mavor. That is huge for that Mavor's construction. Of course, we have a bug over here to the east here, and shields are falling offline. Cougar's being thrown at this as well, and the bug might be enough to take most of the base offline, but of course there are some SAM sites being hastily built to deal with this bug. Currently sitting at half of its hit points. it's done a great job of really dealing with all of these AA defenses, and of course it will open the door for land units to move in to assist as well. Strat bombers running around assisting that Bugs efforts to deal with XBOCT's base over here. 41 minutes, and it's starting to crumble here for him, but I definitely think it paid for itself and then some. Rambo boy, says Bilbo. There are a couple of Rambo boys over there for free MP. They're building some facilities to start pumping out units. And now the spam assisting the FAF boys has commenced. Looks like they sent a detachment of purses to deal with those Rambo boys over there. The base in the northeast, it's struggling. It's still there. We do see that Bug now at the low yellows, high reds for hit points. But I think this is the end of an era here for XBOCT's main base over here to the northeast. There's still one Cougar just pumping shots into that Bug. I don't think one Cougar is going to be enough. He definitely needs more, and it looks like that grouping of Cougars will be targeted, and that base will be taken offline. Definitely unfortunate here for XBOCT, but like I said, it paid for itself a lot. The Mavor is done before 42 minutes. 22 minutes would be nuts for that thing. And of course getting some TMD and some more PD. Half of the air grid is now taken offline here for Toomba. There is a satellite over top, so Team 1 will know about the Mavor. They need to focus most, if not all, of their attention now on that target. Nuke is online here for Team 1's Ilmer in the north, and of course there is a Tsar being built next to it. 2 satellites online, third one almost done. Of course, more and more shields to counteract the artillery from the Mavor. It's about to fire its first round as it moves its large, definitely compensating cannon into range. Mavor has hives. The only time when hives are a good thing. And look at that thing just spam out those PD emplacements. And you see the big brother when you hand the control over to the big brother. That meme. That's what this is. It's like, big brother, help. Okay. It's big brother. Oh, what happened? Okay, distracted on. I clicked on somebody by accident. Anyway. Where are the shots landing over here? Looks like... What are they going for? Oh, they're going for Yo, and Yo is not feeling good. He's getting more shields on and off, but SMD is going to go offline there. And this is not going well. He is distracting all of the attention from the artillery onto that one target. And it looks like... Is there another artillery I don't know about? Because I feel like... Hold on. I think there's another artillery I don't know about. Because there's... Maybe that is just the Mavor shots, but it looks like that's another artillery piece. Maybe it was just sent over to the northwest over here. They should probably start focusing on those satellites because it's going to start being very annoying for defenses. That makes me think that's the Mavor shots. But it's definitely not, because the angle on that is definitely to the northwest. And of course the Scathis is being built, because why the heck not? Got to spend that eco somehow. Crab on the front line poking and prodding its way forward. Team 2 is losing territory quite significantly in the middle and trying to fight back in the west, but can't really amount too much. Yeah, it looks like there's a third artillery piece, but maybe it just looks that way because it's firing so fast. It's probably what it is. Scathis has taken a little bit longer. Of course, all of those Ras boys has now gone to build it. Okay, so I appreciate the fact that TMOS helped build the first Mavor. You could help build the Scathis, and then at that point, that's pretty much GG. Team 1's Nightblood receiving the firepower of the Mavor, it looks like, with the whizzing in of the shots. He's really trying to keep his shields online, but he's definitely struggling here. We see that the Duke is now targeting... Who are you targeting? Over here to this eastern base. A lot of engineers built up over there. I feel like that's not as important, rather than going after the satellites being built. Donut's almost done. Nuke is not really being loaded. This Nuke is half loaded here for free MP. And this large grouping of sniper bots as well as a Colossus really standing strong in the midst of these 4 Fat Boys waiting for it to engage. That's really keeping that large army from moving in, is just the amount of firepower on board those Fat Boys. Are they targeting the SMD? Because it's about... Oh, it was almost enough. I don't think Team 2 has a nuke, though, so I don't know if that's what they're going for. It looks like the satellites are focusing now on Akira. I don't see any nukes for Team 2 as of yet. Yeah, I don't see any nukes, so it looks like they're just going for the SMD, because why not? The Scathus is about to tick over into the yellow, though, so that's really good for them. But, of course, the Mavor is almost in the yellow as well, so I feel like you could just send all the mass from the TMOS back to Tumba and build the Scathus. There is a crab on Team 2's doorstep. This is encouraging. Close quarters combat at its finest. Just can't have any fun. T1 bombers are inbound. Looks like TMOS is saying target the air grid. I don't know. Oh, looks like the base here for Nightblood has been pretty much taken out. The nuke, surprisingly, is fine, but it's not going to be fine for much longer. We do see an effort from Team 1 to push in with their ASFs. I don't know if they're going for strats or not, but I could check the... yeah, those look like there were strats inbound. They do get halted by Team 2's AA. And it looks like at this point, it's not really looking good here for Team 1. That Scathus is in the yellow. That Mavor is been stopped. They're producing a Fat Boy, because why not have some defenses in that regard? He's just going to go, okay, we're done. Going right back to the end. Okay, building the Mavor again. Still the nuke is online. I feel like Team 2 could be a little bit more specific with their shots, or bigger, that go for bigger ticket items. I mean, going for T3 mexes and stuff is fine, but I mean, there's a nuke that's loading here. There's a nuke that's almost loaded here. There's 3 satellites that are still online. Like, they could go after a whole bunch of other stuff, but it looks like power issues for 2 players on Team 1, that being Nightblood and Free MP. Free MP looks like he's fixed his, and Nightblood's still suffering in that department. He's trying to balance his power generation. And again, a bunch of Awasab bombers to the east. Explosion does occur in the south, and it's Free MP. He went after Bilbo. That's right next door to that Duke and Mavor combo. And Free MP, he's not teleporting. He's going for the rest of the eco here for Tumba. That donut is inbound, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to get anywhere because its hit points are gone. And there is a satellite. The satellites have retasked onto the Duke and artillery, Duke and Mavor combo. Free MP in range of those Cerberus PD emplacements. Oh, the P-Gen is being targeted. We'll take out a little bit of the fire rate for the Mavor. The shield is about to collapse, but the Hives are assisting it quite heavily. And there goes Free MP. Down by some Fat Boy, Ravager. Tumba actually made an appearance as well, helping out to assist. And that's not great here for Team 1. They've lost the player. And the artillery combo is still online. Looks like all the RAS boys are like, okay, we'll go finish the Mavor now. How is XBOCT doing over here? He's just building a huge horde of AA. In the east, more and more Fat Boys being thrown on this eastern side. But again, it's going to take a long time for Team 1 to chew through Team 2's territory. And Ruma, is sitting with a nice little cloaking and laser combo. We do see that System Shock teleported in, and the hordes of bombers go in, kill off System Shock. Half of that, or a decent section of all that eco here for Touch My Berries is just gone. Team 1 has caught up to Team 2's eco now at 2.4k versus 2.4k. But like I said, at this point, Team 1 doesn't have anything to fight back with that Mavor and Duke combo. They have some satellites. Looks like one of them got taken offline, and now the shields are starting to collapse. It's not really looking good here for Team 1 in that long-range game. I feel like had System Shock and Free MP teleported in at the same time and gone for this, maybe it would have been enough. But Nuke is outbound. Is it going to just make its way for that Mavor? I think at this point that's the only choice that Team 1 has. But no, it's going to go after this base over here for Ruma, which is nice, but it's not really worth the target. I mean, there are SMDs. This one isn't loaded. This one is loaded. So let's see, what's the range on this SMD? Oh, it could have been clipped. So you probably could have put it right here. It may have gotten the Mavor. It may have. It would have been close, but at least taking out the Duke or something would have been something. Strat Bombers are inbound, but they're taken out by AA. So they're not going to get anywhere, unfortunately, for them. And in the east, there goes the Nuke. First one of the game. Kaboom! Takes out that base here for Ruma. So he's been knocked out, but of course he does have his cloaking and laser commander. And now Yo is being the target of all of that artillery fire. Yo goes, okay, I think I'm done. 2700 says Nightblood. What? 27? What do you mean 2700? What? Do you mean 1700 or 2700? I don't know what he means by that. But Yo bows out. It is now a 2v6 in favor of Team 2. And the writing, I think, is on the wall at this point. So I'll speed it up to +2. You can see in the east the Fat Boys are pushing in. And, of course, there is a desync towards the end. But you can pretty much see here that with a Duke and Mavor and a Mavor that's half done and a Scathis that's half done, it's going to be a tall order for Team 1 to fight back against Team 2. Another Nuke is outbound going for this base over here. Take out a little bit more eco for Team 2, but in my opinion, it's not really going to matter at this point even with the desync. Skotik takes a shot from the artillery. Another one inbound. Oh, he's just suffering. There goes his T3 air facility. There goes his T3 land facility headquarters. He's going for an upgrade at the current moment. Actually, he was assisting, looks like. But yeah, it's just not really looking good here for him. Drop bombers over here to the east, helping out against those Fat Boys from the Pac-Man yellow player of Skotik, and those are taken offline as well. Like I said, it is not looking good for Team 1. There is counter artillery online, it looks like, from Team 1. It is a disruptor, but that's being targeted now by Team 2's dual artillery placement. Now a second Mavor is online, and even if this one is taken offline, Team 2 still has another one, so that's definitely GG's there. Yeah, TMOS saying GG as well, because he's like, nah, we have 2 Mavors, you have none, so yeah, it's just kind of one of those, how long do you keep fighting, or do you just teleport out of there and concede the match? But I'm very surprised that the fact that the Mavor is still then trying to go after Nightblood's 3 satellites. I feel like that could have been taken out a lot sooner. And we see more Strat Bombers inbound. Are they going to go for the second Mavor, excuse me, but the first one closest to them? Looks like they might be targeting the SMDs, but doesn't break through the shielding, unfortunate. And now with 3 artilleries, 2 of them being T4, Mavors, all they have to do is focus fire on one target, and that's it. It's just point, click, and dead. Nightblood takes a shot. He's building his own disruptor. This one was just taken offline here by the artillery from Team 2's Tumba. And it's just Team 1 just does not have anything in the tank to really fight this. Everything is being taken offline very quickly. And in the east, Brick's moving in, killing off another Fat Boy. Lines of PD are going to be built, drawn in the sand, or lines drawn in the sand. But at this point in the match, I feel like it's not really going to go anywhere, unfortunately, for Team 1. So if you're rooting for Team 1, the Nuke does land and get out of there at the last second. Good job for that Nuke getting the heck out of Dodge, but unfortunately, it's going to land... Where's it going to land? And the Scathis is done, so 2 Mavors, 1 Scathis, and a Partridge and the Pear Tree have been built in this game. Some RASCOMs or some SACUs going up in smoke. There it goes. Kaboom. Takes out a decent chunk of eco. Not that much, but it's something. Nightblood throws in the GGs in the chat. His RAS boys are being taken up by artillery fire. And there's a really weird hive line. I don't know why it's all the way over there, but it is Scathos fire raining in. Nightblood just suffering in the reception of the artillery department at this point. Large group of units to the west here for TMOS pushing in on the land side of things. And that's going to be the game there, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. I definitely did. Again, apologies for the pause in the middle of it. You know, answering the door for the AC repair guy was definitely important, obviously, because I've been dying of not having AC for a couple of days. So it's been really, really hot. So that's going to really help not make me sweat all day and night. But there goes Nightblood, just still holding. ACU has been pinpointed here by TMOS being like, hey, the Skotik's over here. But there's a group of strap bombers inbound, and that is a dead commander. There he goes. Oh, he's not dead. And Nightblood is taken out by TMOS's artillery. Skotik has less than 500 hit points remaining. Akira control Ks, that doesn't really matter, but that is the game, folks. Team 2 wins the game. They lost one player, technically 2, but I'll count that as only 1 for Bilbo. Definitely unfortunate for him. It was almost a flawless game for Team 2, but definitely it's hard because I feel like XBOCT deserves a huge amount of credit towards MVP just because he had such a great time distracting Team 1 on the eastern side. And here, down here, of course, we had the assistance from TMOS coming here, building the Mavor, and then, of course, going back to build his Mavor that he didn't really need, but it was nice to have. It's hard because I want to give it to one of these two players, either Tumba or actually, no, probably TMOS or XBOCT. He was great on the land side of things. He killed off SA, assisting with that move and helping kind of slow down Team 1's roll on their western side because they were pushing quite quickly on that western side against Bilbo. I think that one drop in the northeastern corner for XBOCT, I think that edges him out for MVP. Let me know down in the comments if you think so or not. Of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching to the end of the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.